Everyone, this week I've been driving this 2023 Nissan Altima SR. The Altima gets a facelift for 2023. Otherwise, it's a pretty mainstream midsize sedan. Midsize sedans are dying off, but the Altima has managed to hold on, and overall it gets a lot right. So let's do a little tour of this 2023 Altima SR here, focusing mainly on the things that have been changed for 2023, and then take it for a little ride around the block to get a feel for its turbocharged four-cylinder engine. So like I said, this is the SR trim, which is essentially a sporty appearance package similar to what you get with a Camry SE or XSE. At the very least, I do like the font they chose for the SR badge in the grille there. Black accents for the SR. These wheels are 19 inches. They are mostly black, but with some chrome spoke elements there. Pretty low profile, and they sit pretty far out. Like, there's just a lot of wheel that sits really close to the sidewall there. So definitely vulnerable to curb rashing, but they are neat looking wheels. Black mirror caps, just a regular sunroof up top. Moving around back, there's another SR badge, and it's orange. I like that. Nissan's kind of chosen orange as its accent color across its entire brand. So that's fun. You got the new Nissan emblem on the back. That's something else they changed with the update. There's the trunk. That's as much space as you should expect in any mid-size sedan. Kind of a bonus item here. You can put the second row seats down if you pull on these levers, and then you just push. I moved a ladder in this car this week, and it was handy to be able to do that because I pulled this lever, pulled this one, and then just pushed the ladder in, and the ladder pushed the seat backs down. At no point did I have to get into the second row. So you have to press the button on the handle when the key's in your pocket. There's no like touch sensor there. It's all button operated for lock and unlock, which some people might like. So here's the window sticker. This is a 2023 Nissan Altima 2.0 SR front-wheel drive sedan, VC turbo. That's the branding Nissan uses for its optional, more powerful turbocharged four-cylinder engine. It makes 236 horsepower and 267 pounds-feet of torque. That's not a lot of horsepower for an optional engine in one of these mid-size sedans. Something like the Toyota Camry with its V6 engine, which is optional, that makes around 300 horsepower, but Camry V6 does not return this kind of fuel economy. With the Altima, with its optional turbo here, you're getting 25 city, 34 highway, and 29 combined. So you sacrifice some horsepower when compared to, say, a V6 Camry, but you gain a lot back in fuel economy. Overall, I think this powertrain is fine. It's a good amount of power and pretty competitive fuel economy as well, so it's a great balance there. As equipped, it comes in at $36,440 when you factor in a destination charge of $1,095. Before we move on, one thing I should clarify, the optional turbocharged engine is only available with front-wheel drive. When Nissan redesigned this Altima, when they brought out this generation, the big news was the optional turbo and optional all-wheel drive, but the caveat there was it was either or. So you could option all-wheel drive with the base four-cylinder, or you could get the turbocharged four-cylinder here, the VC turbo, but it comes exclusively with front-wheel drive. Toyota does something similar with the Camry. Let's turn things on. So it's a good cabin. You have a digital, well, mostly kind of somewhat digital gauge cluster. There's a big color screen in the middle there with analog gauges. The infotainment system here is new for 2023. It's the same system that you'll find in other Nissan models that have been updated in the past few years. I like it. I like widescreens. I think that's probably the best way to display information in a vehicle is with a widescreen. It doesn't quite cut into the sight line, at least not for me. I'm about 5'11", but for someone smaller than me, it might. See, that might eat into the sight line a little bit, but on the other hand, it's up high, it's easy to see, and it's easy to reach, even for somebody smaller than me. So that's good. Relatively intuitive to use. The map is pretty nice. Touch functionality is pretty good. It's not iPad levels of responsiveness, but it's still pretty good. Probably slightly above average. Pretty functional. The graphics are okay. This screen's a little bit busy. This is the screen that you're most likely to to have this on while you're driving, probably radio. But either way, it's a good system. Maybe not the best, maybe not as good as like Genesis and Hyundai and Kia's, but still pretty good. Moving on, switchgear feels really good. Nissan has kind of become a value brand in recent years. It seems that their lower end products have received the brunt of that cost cutting, whereas the Altima is actually pretty nice. And I reviewed one of these a few years back and I liked it then, and I still like it now. So the top of the dashboard is kind of squishy. It's like a faux leather material there. Same goes with the tops of the door panels. The switchgear feels old. This feels like a generation or two old, but that's okay. You do get paddle shifters, even though this is a CVT, so there are like simulated gear levels. I'll take it. Then down here you've got USB-C, USB-A, wireless charging, heated steering wheel, and heated front seats. Electronic parking brake. There's your center console storage. Let's hop in the back seat. There we go. And here we are in the back seat of the 2023 Nissan Altima here. I have plenty of room. I'm about 5'10 or 5'11, and I have a lot of room to sit behind myself. That's where I have the seat when I'm driving. And I'd be plenty comfortable back here. The seats in this car are really comfortable as well, especially the front seats, but the back seats are pretty comfy too. And then something else I'm noticing, you sit up a little bit higher maybe in the second row than you do up front. So sight lines for your backseat passengers are going to be really nice, and that'll cut down on any feelings of claustrophobia on, say, a longer road trip. Down here you've got USB-C, USB-A, some air vents, no independent air controls, and then fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, just a regular sunroof, grab handles overhead, and then a light, and that's about it. Okay, going for a drive in this 2023 Nissan Altima SR with the optional turbocharged engine. I really don't have any complaints about this vehicle. It's all around really, really competent. There's 60 miles per hour, so it's relatively quick. I guess it's kind of slow to take off, and then it does start to pull between like 20 and 45 miles per hour. So it's certainly fast enough, even with just 237 horsepower, which I know I brought up the Camry before, but it's down 63 horsepower to the Camry V6. That's a significant difference. Overall, the interior feels really nice. I like this new infotainment screen. It's pretty big. Like the resolution and the colors and the tone and everything of it are pretty nice. Switchgear in this car is all really good. I think Nissan's modern design language, this is subjective, but I think it's pretty tasteful. Again, just all around competence from the Altima here. There aren't different drive modes. I'm kind of surprised. I thought there would at least be a sport mode on well, the optional more powerful engine. Typically you get a sport mode, but no, you do get paddle shifters, even though the car uses a CVT, so there's simulated gear steps. I'm in 3rd gear right now. There's our 2nd speed bump. You may find a use for the paddle shifters, but probably not. Here's our 3rd speed bump, a big one here. Let's go 28. So there was a thud. I don't know what that was, but nothing like violent, nothing metal on metal, just kind of a suspension reaction there. And 237 horsepower and 29 miles per gallon combined, I think is probably the sweet spot for a vehicle like this today. Any more power and you're going to compromise fuel economy, and it's really just going to be wasted fuel. And any less power, and well, you're not going to really feel like you got your money's worth paying for the optional engine now, are you? Okay, so there's our look at the facelifted 2023 Nissan Altima. Like I said, I liked this vehicle when it first came out, meaning this generation when it first came out, and I still like it to this day. 237 horsepower, turbocharged 4-cylinder, pretty nice engine, decent powertrain. CVT does not bother me at all. 29 miles per gallon, 34 on the highway. That's pretty good, especially with 237 horsepower. $36,000. You're getting up there, and that brings me to my greater point with this is just how valuable is the world's best midsize sedan these days, given how many other options there are. I mentioned before, I hauled a ladder in this vehicle this week, and I moved a miter saw and some luggage, and it was able to fit all of that, but still I would have been much happier with a sport utility, a hatchback, even a wagon, a pickup, a van, anything but a midsize sedan. It's just really hard to justify this amount of money on a vehicle that is shaped like this today, given the alternatives, given just how much more functionality you get out of any of the other aforementioned vehicle categories I just brought up. So the sedan business case is really starting to break down. That's why you're seeing more and more automakers dropping their sedans. It feels like Toyota, Honda, and Nissan will be in the sedan game for a while. As for other automakers, it seems like Hyundai and Kia will be too. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Subaru drop the Legacy and just devote all that production to Outbacks, because again, you're seeing sedans go away because consumers like other kinds of vehicles better, and manufacturers make more money. They make a higher profit margin on other types of vehicles as well. So the business case for sedans has really, really gone away. I don't see any reason to ever buy a sedan, but as far as sedans go, this is a really good one. It's just, again, my earlier point, just how valuable is a really, really good sedan like the Nissan Altima here in 2023. Thanks for watching.